Li Zongping thought they were getting married. Startled myself, but one of the men underwent surgery in vain. He is the brother of that girl from earlier. His name is Song Rentu. I heard that he sent my younger sister home. So I specifically came here to invite Li Zongping to dinner. Thank him for being so kind." Li Zongping laughed again upon hearing this. Not only did they water the peach blossom moon, someone is inviting for a big meal. So I didn't decline. Happily followed them to their home. But when they reached their village, Li Zongping discovered the houses here are all very dilapidated. It seems like no one lives here. Song Ren too quickly explained. Their village is in Chakian. Most other families have already left. Their family will also move away in a few days. Li Zongping immediately exclaimed that he had stepped in dog poop. I didn't expect to be a rich woman again this year. A few people walked for a while again. Finally arrived at Jinling River. The table was filled with fine wine and delicious dishes. Li Zongping was not polite either. Just let go of the jaw and indulge in a feast. A whole table of dishes went into his stomach. He won't stop until he's drunk to the point of oblivion. The next day, Li Zongping woke up from his drunkenness half a year later. There was another wave of sharp pain. Looking down at my own belly. Surprisingly, it looks as if it has been pregnant for 10 months. Their mouths were also stuffed with dirt and bugs. And he was lying in a big pit. Immediately, Li Zongping felt a sharp pain in his stomach. It feels like it's going to explode. He endured the excruciating pain as he dug out of the pit, but found himself at Jinling River. It was clearly an abandoned graveyard. I don't know how long this graveyard has existed. Was attacked by wild mold. Even the coffin is crooked and exposed outside. Li Zongping was so scared that he couldn't feel the pain. Crawling and rolling back home. The villagers also noticed his growing belly. Everyone gathered at his doorstep to watch the excitement. They all say he did a wicked thing to women. That's how it became like this. Li Zongping's family took him to the hospital. After the inspection, inside Li Zongping's belly, discovered 8 large stones. There are still a pile of dirt and bugs. After this, Li Zongping finally understood. I'm afraid I've encountered a ghost, but I just don't know. These ghosts are really well-intentioned but are causing trouble, just purely using him for amusement. Every night, there are constant cries from outside the house. It turns out the man sings with the doll every night. Li Zongping, who lives in Qingdao. Recently, I encountered a difficult situation. He works for his job. Rented a 50 billion whole house. Next door lived a young couple. This couple makes sounds every night. A heart-pounding sound that makes you blush. Li Zongping is tormented every day, listening to others. The man's name is Song Ren, and he looks very stern. The income from work is not high either. His character is also very despicable. He is a complete and utter loser. The woman's name is Jin Lion. So beautiful. I heard he's still a postdoctoral researcher. I don't know if it's because I find Song Ren's face appealing. Actually willing to follow him, even though I can hear them singing every night. But Li Zongping has been living here for over 10 days now. I haven't seen the two of them even once. This made Li Zongping very curious. What does Jin Lion really look like? A rare opportunity. Li Zongping finally peeked through the crack in the door, saw the beloved Jin Lion. Although it's far away, I can still see through the crack in the door. I only saw a silhouette. But Li Zongping felt, I fell in love, before he could take another glance. Larry took his Song people's head, gave a fierce glare. That gaze looks extremely fierce, as if wanting to kill. This made Li Zongping feel very embarrassed. hastily pretended to leave and slipped away. After this moment, Li Zongping never saw Son Rentu again. A couple of days passed. A foul smell wafted through the rental apartment. I thought it was that lazy person who didn't throw out the takeout. It's gone bad. But later there was a time when Li Zongping got up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. Fa Jinlian stood at the bathroom door. The lights are off, just standing there stiffly. Blood is still dripping from my feet. He couldn't help but feel uneasy. How do girls get their periods? Is it all that exciting? Li Zongping is lost in thought. Suddenly, I was pushed by the big brother next door. He was startled. When he turned back to look at the restroom again, there isn't even a shadow of a ghost there. Li Zongping thought at that time, "Isn't it just that you long for Jin Lion?" I'm Daisy, although this is a strange door, but didn't think much more about it. The next day, Li Zongping was still in a deep sleep, awakened by a loud noise. It seems someone is trying to break in. The door of the room where people are sent to die. He pulled up his pants and ran outside, thinking that maybe I could see Jin Lion again. Just stepped out of the door. I just saw the entrance of the room where they were sending someone off. The maggots keep crawling outward. Not only that, a strong, foul odor hit me in the face. I don't know what this young couple is really doing. The room is a mess like this. I don't even know how to clean up. Just knows to sing every night. As Li Zongping stared blankly at the maggots, the pair of dark circles under someone's eyes pushed open a small crack before he could say anything. Then he was suddenly pushed hard by his older brother. Li Zongping's small frame was directly pushed out. As the door opened, I finally met Jin Lion. He is still in the same position as that day, sleeping on the bed with their back to us. We're making such a big noise. Jin Lion hasn't woken up yet. It's quite strange. A person took advantage of the distraction while delivering the head, sneaked a glance at Jin Lion, but just as he poked his head out, just got startled. There is a person lying on the bed. It's just an inflatable doll, sending someone off like a treasure. Jump onto the bed to protect. What a peculiar person. Li Zongping walked around the room. I couldn't figure out what was causing the smell. Once again, I stumbled into an embarrassing situation of giving away a free kill. Just planned to go out, but he just walked in front of the wardrobe. The wardrobe seemed to come alive, with just one eye open. Suddenly opened. Then a dark object. It fell straight down towards Li Zongping. A foul odor followed closely behind, and countless writhing maggots. Li Zongping, completely unprepared, the stinking golden lotus, tumbled to the ground. The two almost kissed. Li Zongping was so frightened that his soul seemed to fly away. He has grown up like this. I've never seen anything so heavy in taste. Crying out for help, he pushed Jin Lion aside. Even so, my body is still covered in wetness and maggots. The powerless big brother controls the sacrifice. Just held tight. Later, Li Zongping learned from the police. It's because Jin Lion has had enough of sending heads. So I want to break up with him. He could offer his head but is a paranoid fanatic. Not only disagree. In a moment of desperation, he also killed Jin Lion. After the murder, he couldn't find a chance to dispose of the body. It was hidden in the wardrobe. As for that dummy, he did it on purpose. The purpose is to deliberately let us see. Hal believed that Jin Lian was still singing with him every night. The man was born with an incredibly foul-smelling mouth. Everyone who has been sprayed by him. In a few days, they will lie dead on the spot. Li Zongping has been an oddball since childhood. He was born with white fur all over his body. The adults in the village say he had a destiny in his past life. In this life I will become a white-haired monster. Not only that, he has another terrifying skill. He can predict others' life and death. As long as he says someone has a shadow following them, then this person will definitely die within 3 days. Because of these characteristics, Li Zongping often faced exclusion at school. Upperclassmen often gang up to bully him, often beat him until his face was bruised and swollen. That's the end of it. Li Zongping had no way out either, can only silently endure their bullying. But once, Li Zongping said to the person who led the bullying, "If you get followed, you won't be able to escape. Now let's see how you can bully me." Sure enough, the next day, the student who led the bullying of Li Zongping, just before the divorce agreement was reached, 10,000 drowned. Li Zongping was affected by this remark. The parents of the students caused a scene at the school, forced to drop out of school. From then on, no one ever saw him again. Goodbye Li Zongping is because I've recently encountered a headache-inducing issue. A few days ago, my girlfriend was writing at home, but suddenly saw something, fell on the balcony. She pushed open the window and looked out. It turned out to be a man, fell to death on the clothes drying rack outside the window. He died a tragic death. All 4 limbs were deformed from the fall, nose and mouth bleeding, especially from the neck. It feels like I have separated from my body, but it's just a layer of skin, still hanging on the body. It was the night after. My girlfriend just saw. A person fell out of the window. Before she could react, a dark shadow appeared outside the window. The man pushed the window open with his hand. A head peeked out from the cover, twisted the body into a strange angle, climbing desperately into the room. My girlfriend was scared to death, hastily ran out to find me for help. I went in to take a look. The room is empty as a shadow, but my girlfriend has always been worried. To put her mind at ease, I asked a friend for help. I found a celebrity who specializes in handling such matters. It is said to have very keen eyes. The first time I laid eyes on this person, I recognized her because she also has a head of white hair. It is my elementary school classmate Li Zongping. The difference is Li Zongping now appears very confident. The gloominess of childhood is gone. He arrived after that, walked around in our house. It is true that something dirty has come in, but it doesn't matter. This is all because of my girlfriend a few days ago. Seeing that made me so scared that my soul felt unsteady. As long as you steady your soul, that's all that matters. But I didn't really believe what he said. Li Zongping seemed to sense my distrust of him. He took out a gauze bag from his satchel. It seems to be filled with some kind of powder. He walked to the window. "Sprinkle powder everywhere. Let us know when you're done filming. You will be able to see it once the dust settles." Waited for a while. Indeed, many black handprints were visible. It looks like someone is coming through the window, climbing into the house. I finally believe Li Zongping. Quickly asked him if he wanted to hold a mage's curve. He said, Li Zongping casually said, "It's no big deal. Such things have always been a part of our lives. As long as the soul is settled, if you can't see it, then it's fine." After finishing speaking, he took out a string of coins from his bag. "Let my girlfriend take it. In a few days, the soul can be settled." After giving instructions, Li Zongping said he still had something to do. Turn around and leave. I hurriedly caught up to send him off. Li Zongping said there's no need to send me off. We will meet again in a few days. A few days later, it indeed turned out as he expected. A colleague of mine is being haunted by a ghost. The military came looking for Li Zongping again. Sanzi sleeps with Kiki every night, yet still wanting a trio of humans and ghosts. Last time, Li Zongping, after I helped my girlfriend with her ghost encounter. I don't know who let the cat out of the bag. I also heard that I am very close to the master. The fortune teller sees a smooth path ahead. Those who want to maintain eternal youth come to me. They were all just small matters. But my colleague sent someone to their death. This matter is quite tricky. Because, he said, there is a female ghost who has followed him since childhood. I didn't think much of it when I was young. Even in dangerous times, this female ghost has saved him twice. You can gradually grow by sending people to their demise. He also started looking for a girlfriend to satisfy his needs. This female ghost was somewhat troublesome. She always acts like she's delivering a head. Invite the girl to my home, ready to do something. Matters of the heart. Good deeds that go unnoticed are bad deeds. Specifically targeting girls while they are bathing. Come out quietly, staring at them with his fierce eyes. In just a year, heads were sent flying. Scared away over 300 girlfriends by a female ghost. Each one got scared off before they could catch it. This made her extremely anxious. Later, she finally found someone bold enough as the two people interacted. It has reached the point of discussing marriage. But on the night when the two decided to get married, the female ghost has struck again. She grabbed her friend's ankle. He directly pulled her off the bed. And so they sent someone off to his death and started living as bachelors again. She had no choice. Purred from the little flute girl. I know Li Zongping. Come seek help from me. I found this to be truly remarkable. He invited Li Zongping to go with him to see the head family. That evening, Li Zongping asked her as soon as he saw the head being delivered, "Were you weak and sickly since childhood?" Sent to his doom, he was taken aback by her question. Absolutely amazing. Indeed, just as everyone said, he is a living deity. Then she said, I have been weak since childhood, when I was 5 years old, because I ate an extra bowl of rice. I fell seriously ill and almost died. Since that time, and then I never got sick again. Li Zongping heard someone say sending ahead. He revealed an expression of complete understanding. So I didn't ask much more. The three of us arrived at the place to send someone off. As soon as the door opened, Li Zongping said there is a heavy yin energy in the room. They also asked if we wanted to take a look. Such a strange thing. I certainly won't let it go. Li Zongping took something out from her bag. Take out the cloth bag from last time. Pick up the powder inside. The morning sky looks so bleak. Many faint black wisps appeared in the room. Seeing everything in front of me. Thinking about the heartache of not having a girlfriend this year. Can't bear it any longer. Suddenly she cried out. Li Zongping quickly tried to comfort her. Don't rush. This female ghost will not be silent. Wu Guo followed her. First, consider whether to send the head of the deceased mother. What kind of contract do you have with the female ghost? After pondering left and right, I still can't make sense of it. Just called a relative back home, as Li Zongping expected. It was during the 5th birthday of the person who was sent away that a serious illness struck. His mother did it to save his life. Just married him a wife. Later, when his mother died, he was still young. This matter was never mentioned again. Sending someone off naturally doesn't know. I actually have a ghost wife. This ghostly wife has been by his side protecting him since childhood. One person and one ghost should originally. Married at the age of 18 when sending off the last head. But he didn't do anything at all. What bad luck! Looking for a girlfriend everywhere. The female ghost naturally did not agree, so they constantly made things difficult for Lai Ren's girlfriend. Understood the cause. The face of the person who brought bad news immediately fell. He felt this was a decision made by the adults without his consent. I was still young and didn't understand anything at that time. Now this female ghost is hindering him from finding a girlfriend. True love is better off just getting rid of him. Li Zongping listened to this. The expression changed dramatically 3 times. With a gloomy expression, he said to the messenger, "This female ghost protects you from disasters and misfortunes. Rescue you and seize your child. If it weren't for her, with your earthly and heavenly fate, I don't know how many times I've died already. You not only dare not be kind to her, now, for personal gain, they actually want to get rid of her. I advise you to think it over again, to avoid suffering the consequences in the end." Upon hearing this, the person felt uneasy. The face has become even more saggy. He thought about it again. In the end, I decided to listen to Li Zongping, marrying a female ghost. Later, Li Zongping chose an auspicious time for her. White double happiness characters were pasted on the window. A table was placed by the bedside again. There are 2 white candles and a mirror on the table. They say as long as you deliver ahead. Seeing the ghostly traces beside me through the mirror. A person and a ghost share the same bed for 1 night. This marriage is settled. From this point on, to send someone off, one must leave a record on the bed. Janbei, everything must be borne by his ghostly wife. 1 year later, sending someone off led to marrying the bride as desired. It's just that everyone doesn't understand. Why is there a haze on her forehead? Set up a blank game board. Zio Rizzi brutally killed multiple people in China, only for human experimentation, sewing spider tubes. The major crimes unit where Li Zongping works specializes in handling strange cases. On this day he received the most bizarre case in my life. The report was made by Jin Lion, who works at the cotton factory. Li Zongping rushed to the hospital to meet Jin Lion. He has been scared to the point of losing his sanity. According to Jin Lion, it was drizzling that night. He was pulled into a dark alley by his boyfriend. I originally wanted to do something good that no one would know about, but they entered the alley afterward. Yet in the darkness, heard the crunching sound of something being chewed. That sound is very crispy, makes one drool with desire. Jin Lion was by the trash can. I saw a strange man. The person was curled up next to the trash can, naked. With my back to them, Jin Lion thought it was a homeless person rummaging through the trash for food. Just didn't take it to heart. Planning to continue doing good things with my boyfriend. But the next second, the person next to the trash can suddenly turned his terrifying face, with eyes full of white, staring intently at Jin Lion. At that moment, his mouth was stuffed with a bloody rat. This person can no longer be described as human. He was completely hairless, covered in stitches and scars. It feels like the whole person is pieced together. The monster seemed to be enraged by Jin Lion's glare, suddenly sprang out from the corner. At this moment, Jin Lion finally saw clearly. This person actually has 8 limbs. Like a spider, he revealed a mouthful of sharp teeth. It seemed that Jin Lion and the other person were rushing over, with a swipe of its claws. Jin Lion's boyfriend let out a wail and collapsed to the ground. Jin Lion took the opportunity to attack the monster while it was assaulting her boyfriend. Ran out from the alley. Li Zongping listened to the details of the incident. I remember a case I took on a few days ago. The person filing the report is a thief. His name is Song Rentu. I usually enjoy visiting other people's homes, getting some gifts. That day, Songren too was wandering aimlessly on the street. I saw a family pulling a barbed wire fence. I just felt there must be valuable treasures inside. After he figured out a way to climb over the wall and get in, but discovered that all the windows of this household, everything was nailed tightly with iron plates. Only one door remains for entry and exit. Song Ren took out his little tool. It took half a day to pry open the door lock. I originally thought it would be a land of gold and silver as soon as I entered. He pushed open the door and stepped inside, but found that there were only a few broken trash cans in the room. There's a nauseating smell. Song Ren's head never gives up. Entered another small room. The walls of this room are covered with various photos. In the middle there was a bed. It looks more like an operating room. As the Song people were puzzled, it seems like something moved on the bed, holding onto the mindset of not letting the thief escape empty-handed. Song Ren boldly gathered his courage. He lifted the white cloth off the bed, things that can be used with eyelids. But it left an unforgettable mark on his life. There is a person lying on the bed. He has 4 glasses. 2 arms were sewn onto his back, lying on the bed half dead. It looks like it won't live long. A Song person's head was taken by this monster in front of him. Frightened, he fell to the ground. Crying from laughter, I was so scared I almost wet myself, just as he was about to get up and run away. But my back bumped into another person's leg. This person saw Song Ren's head. Silently, he thrust the knife forward. Incompetent yet quick and reckless. He, Song Ren, is, after all, from a family of thieves and historians. Since childhood I had the skill of running away on foot. Yet it is among the top. He forcefully pushed open the glasses rack. He dashed up the wall in one swift motion and ran away. I thought this matter was settled. Since Ki Songren escaped, he always feels like someone is following him. You can still see outside the window while sleeping at midnight. There is a person with the surname Spider's shadow, lingering outside his door. After a few days of fleeing, I couldn't take it anymore. He went to the police station to confess and revealed everything. Li Zongping followed the description of Song Ren's head. Arrived at that courtyard. Indeed, I found the operating room here. They also caught the glasses frame in the mouth of the Song person. But the humanoid spider monster had already disappeared. The glasses case was escorted by Li Zongping to the hospital for treatment. The whole time, they were frowning and not letting their gaze wander. Seeing his expression, nothing more can be asked. Li Zongping's family sent personnel. He sensed that the spider monster would come to save the glasses rack. Indeed, it was late at night. A strange person emerged from the corner of the hospital. He looked very robust in his cloak. It is that terrifying human spider monster. This person moves swiftly. Even bullets can be easily dodged. In just a few moves, he took down 4 or 5 officers present. Directly headed to the ward where the glasses rack is located, Li Zongping rushed over to take a look. The spider monster hugged the glasses railing. They actually planned to jump directly from the 10th floor to escape. He watched as the two jumped to the opposite building. We were about to escape. He quickly aimed his gun at the strange person, although they all hit the spider monster. But it couldn't stop them from escaping. After the bullets are gone, I can only watch helplessly as the strange person and the glasses rack slowly disappear from sight. Just when Li Zongping was feeling down, the director extended a gun from behind him. Without hesitation, he fired a shot. Directly smashed the spider monster's brain, causing it to explode. Died on the spot, along with the glasses rack as well. The 2 people had a messy fight. Just as Li Zongping was lost in thought, the police chief spoke up to remind. Li Zongping, hurry to seal off the scene. This secret room must not be seen by the public. The spider monster and the glasses rack are both dead. The clues have also been interrupted. Li Zongping could only rely on the materials found in the operating room. This document contains a portion in Japanese. And that human spider monster, it has also been confirmed in the data. It was the human experimentation conducted by the Japanese army back then. They used the bodies of the Japanese soldiers. The four axes are stitched together, creating such a being that is neither human nor ghost. I originally wanted to enter the battlefield, but before the experiment could succeed, the war ended. The Japanese army could only shamefully retreat back to their homeland. The eyeglass frame continued this research, and it seems the results are quite good. As for the monster he created, what is it used for? It remains unknown. Why does the big yellow dot light up at the sight of a woman? Why does the male protagonist's face look strained and his gaze appear dazed? Why old Wang next door is haunted by a female ghost and cannot find peace? It all started with a kidnapping and beheading incident. A few days ago, Li Zongping received a strange report. It is said that there is a famous chicken ferry nearby. I was abducted by a man. Li Zongping arrived at the scene and took a look. The man who kidnapped Chicken Fairy. It was the pale-colored Song Ren head. As a con artist, Li Zongping had heard plenty about Song Rentu's romantic escapades. But how did these two people get entangled together? This left Li Zongping somewhat perplexed. Is it possible that this Song Ren's timing is so off? Provoked, the Chicken Fairy arrived at the rooftop. Song Ren's head was facing the neck of the Chicken Fairy, still excitedly waving the knife. Kuzi shouted randomly for Jai Gu to exorcise the ghosts for him. But the Chicken Fairy usually just selling fake medicine with tricks and deceit. That is where the real exorcism happens. Of course, it can't solve Song Ren's tricky problem. Song Rentu was pushed to his limits. They have kidnapped Chicken Fairy. Li Zongping couldn't help but laugh. Hastily spoke to Song Rentu. As a soldier, I embody righteousness and integrity. I'm most afraid of soldiers. He also proposed to be his hostage. Song Rentu has indeed heard of this saying. His mind is not suited for glory. Agreed to Li Zongping's suggestion. After Li Zongping exchanged it back, suddenly displayed fear, pointing at Song Ren's head behind. Stammering, he said there are ghosts. Song Ren felt anxious upon hearing this. Immediately turned to look. Who knows, it was actually Li Zongping who was blowing him up. Li Zongping seized the opportunity. With a wave of his hand, he took control of Song Ren. After returning to the police station, the interrogation of Song Ren began immediately. I originally thought he was feeling guilty because he had killed someone. First instance awareness. Song Rentu claimed that he did not kill anyone, but he saw the murder scene. It turns out just a few days ago, Song Rentu met a character named Xiaohu Jinren on the street. The two people hit it off immediately. Immediately go to the hotel to prepare for singing. The good things haven't started yet. Suddenly, a series of urgent knocks interrupted. Song Rentu is very timid. Planned to escape by crawling out of the window. But he just hid outside the window. A man walked into the room and brought along a big yellow dog. This person said nothing. He directly took out a rope, held tightly onto the golden figure. Song Rentu was so scared that he didn't dare to make a sound. Ki Jinren knew he was right outside the window. Song Rentu saw the pleading gaze of the Jin people, frightened and feeling guilty. In a moment of distraction, my hand missed the catch. He fell straight down. Fortunately, the floor isn't very high. He wasn't hurt, not caring about the pain anymore. Crawling and rolling, he hid in the corner. After hiding for a while, quickly escaped back home under the cover of night. From that day on, Song Rentu was haunted by nightmares every day. He is becoming more terrifying each time. He couldn't stand being tangled up. He thought of asking Jai Zhanggu to help him exorcise the ghosts. I listened to the story of Song Rentu. Li Zongping hurriedly asked who that man was. However, Song Ren too said, "I have only known Jin Ren for a few hours," and the man's face was not clearly visible. I only remember he had a big yellow dog. Li Zongping suddenly stood up after listening, run out of the interrogation room, because he remembers. A man appeared a few days ago, bringing a big yellow dog to report a case. He said his chess piece went missing. This big yellow dog is very special. As long as the female officer from the police station passes by, he will fly wildly, still want to pounce. Thinking of this, Li Zongping organized the personnel, hurried to the neighborhood where that man is, knocked on his door. As soon as Li Zongping entered the room, he smelled a strong scent, the strong smell of smoke and pickled vegetables. I saw that big yellow dog again, running drooling toward a room. Li Zongping called someone to open the door. In the center of the room, there was a huge pickled vegetable jar. It was sprinkled with coarse salt. The big yellow dog saw the pickled jar, immediately pounced over and rolled around, unexpectedly uncovered Jin Lion's head. As the body was lifted out, Jin Lion is nearly gone. The whole body was drenched by the big yellow dog. Nothing left. Even a few pieces of bone are missing. Jin Lion's husband. In the face of evidence, he acknowledged his cruel crimes. He suspected Jin Lion, put a green hat on oneself. So they came up with this extremely cruel method. Slowly let your big yellow dog handle the body. The 5 souls and wild ghosts hold a meeting in the alley, only to capture the child's soul. Let him doze off in class and his grades will drop. The company I work for, I have a boss, Sister Wang, who takes great care of me. She often arranges for me to travel on business alone, always taking advantage of when no one's around, throwing me a sulky glance. However, recently Sister Wang has encountered some troubling matters. It's her youngest son, ever since being startled by a big yellow dog again, always feeling dazed and lacking energy. Academic performance has also declined significantly. Wang Jai truly had no other options. I heard again that I know. Nearby is the famous master Li Zongping. So they came to find me. That day I brought Li Zongping to Wang Jai's house. Saw her son Ming. The child's little face is waxy yellow, still sporting a pair of heavy dark circles under the eyes. Looks like you've been through a lot. Walking is like a zombie shuffle. Lifeless. Li Zongping watched the child turn out like this, the brows furrowed. With his pale eyes, he slapped his face up and down, and pinched Ming's fingers. Then I said to Sister Wang, who was still throwing me a sulky look, Ming was scared out of her wits by that big yellow dog. We must hurry to bring his soul back. Otherwise, in 2 days, children may die if their soul is not at peace. I said goodbye to the alluring Sister Wang with Li Zongping. So they hurried to the alley where the big yellow dog was spotted. Even during the day, the alley looked very dark and scary. After walking in, it's a bit terrifyingly quiet inside. Only a few stray dogs, searching for food in the trash can. There are some burned paper ashes and offerings by the wall, scattered by the sudden gusts of eerie wind. Li Zongping only brought me along, strolled around the alley and then left. Then he took me straight to the supermarket. I grabbed some cigarettes and snacks from inside. Spent a fortune. When we came out of the supermarket, it has completely darkened. Li Zongping hurriedly headed towards the alley with food in hand. They said they are going to pick up goods. I was left in doubt by what he said. I wonder how many wild spirits are in this alley. I can't believe I bought so many things. Li Zongping seemed to sense my suspicion. He took out a small bottle from his bag, poured out a drop of blue liquid. Then it was applied to my eyelids. He said this is the tears of a cow. Can you let me see those wild spirits? After speaking, he led the way into the alley. Bless me as you walk along. Once inside, take the cigarettes and food. Dropped on the ground, it tugs at the heart. Never interact or speak with them. I quickly nodded and followed him inside. We walked one after the other, walking in the dark alley. Just walk along the way, meeting people. At first, there was nothing unusual, but soon I heard a crackling sound came from behind me. That sound is very crisp. It sounds like chewing on potato chips. I was scared to death, but was also very curious. I secretly turned my head to look behind. This really took me by surprise. Almost called out. Only see behind me. Many people appeared out of nowhere. They are all squatting on the ground, like a starving ghost, stealing the snacks I threw. I was terrified to death by their appearance. Quickly turned to look for Li Zongping, but he has already gone far away, and I don't know when it appeared before me. A wild ghost emitting black mist appeared. He walked straight towards me. It seems they can't see me at all. This alley is very narrow. I saw that we were about to collide. I quickly said I couldn't finish watching. I regretted saying that. The wild ghost passed through my shoulder, suddenly turned around. The corners of my mouth have cracked wide open. Seems to be unbelievably happy. Then he suddenly lunged at me. At that moment, I had only one thought in my mind. That is, it's all because I'm too handsome. That's why the wild ghost is so happy, just as I was lost in thought. When I feel like I'm being pulled out to be a scapegoat, a hand suddenly reached out from behind. That hand scattered a handful. All hit the wild ghost. The wild ghost immediately became intimidated, turned around and dashed away, ran away without a trace. Dealt with the wild ghost. Me and Li Zongping. Finally, at the end of the alley, I found Mingming's soul. At this moment, Mingming was with two wild spirits, gathered to eat together. That look seemed both wronged and heart-wrenching. Very funny. Mingming also seemed to feel it. We are here, looking for him. He got up and wanted to go home with us, but he had just taken 2 steps. I was held down by the 2 wild spirits beside me. It seems Mingming has become like this, thanks to these 2 wild ghosts. Li Zongping was also not polite. He directly took out 2 big handfuls of white rice, smashed fiercely at those 2 wild spirits. Just like that, I and Li Zongping are protecting Mingming. We returned to Sister Wang's sexy house, watching Mingming's soul enter the house. After bidding farewell to the alluring Wang Jai, we just turned back home. On the way back, I spoke with Li Zongping. Tomorrow I will go to my wife's family to visit her. Listen to what her family's ancestral spirit is saying. You often see a seductive female ghost wandering around. Lao Bai Dang forcefully played poker with the woman all night. After finishing, the woman hanged herself. Restless souls linger after death. What exactly happened? Jin Lion is at a place, working in a company full of male colleagues. There is only one female salesperson here. So basically every time I have a meal with a client, everyone calls her Jinlian. At first, everything was fine, but once she went out for a social gathering and drank, but wore a pair of stockings from Paris. This made Jin Lion's immediate superior. I feel completely deceived. So she took advantage of the alcohol, intentionally getting Jin Lian drunk, then taking advantage of Jin Lion being drunk, just took her to the hotel. So this 70-year-old man infringed upon Jin Lion. When Jin Lian woke up the next day, everything is already over. Not only was I forced to sing for an entire night, they were also filmed in a short video, sent to the work group. After experiencing such events, Jin Lion could no longer work properly. Originally, this matter was under her repeated forbearance. It has become a secret that everyone knows. But for some reason, these matters, unexpectedly, Jin Lion's husband found out. Her husband, despite everything, just divorced Jin Lion, leaving with the child without looking back. The stimulation of G203. Finally, Jin Lion couldn't hold on any longer. She felt she had endured endless humiliation, still not understood by my husband. So he hanged himself. This was originally accompanied by Jin Lion's suicide. Just let it go. But the matter was far from over. The room where Jin Lion hanged herself, ghostly disturbances began to occur frequently, as long as the person who later moves into that room. At midnight, one would see the ghost of Jin Lion. So the homeowner came to find me and Li Zongping. He wants us to exorcise the ghosts for him. When Li Zongping and I arrived at Uncle Song's house, it is already evening. Before Uncle Song could tell me, the haunted room is here. Li Zongping quietly walked into a room. The room is decorated very simply, only some essential furniture. Li Zongping glanced around. Suddenly, he said to me in a gloomy tone, "You want me to stay in this room for a night. Wait until the female ghost comes out before we talk." I was scared to death by his words, but I had no choice but to listen. When night fell, Li Zongping sent me into the house. "Everything is set up. Let me just sleep peacefully," although he spoke very casually. But I have flaws all the time. To sleep in the haunted bear house. How can I possibly sleep peacefully? But Li Zongping doesn't care about my little thoughts. He gave me a wicked smile, turned around and left the house. Although I am afraid, at this point, we can only leave it to fate. So I steeled my heart, lying beneath the beam where this year's hanging took place. Perhaps it was just too much stress. I stared at the beam. I actually fell asleep. It was midnight. I was awakened again by a ticking sound. That sound is not heavy. It sounds sharp and jarring, like something dripping onto the ground. I opened my eyes and looked. A pair of pitch-black feet swayed above me, lying down in the wet. A lot of water droplets fell into my mouth. That taste is truly disgusting. I screamed in fright and shrank back. The female ghost also stuck out her long tongue, licked me in the morning, just as her tongue was about to touch my face. Li Zongping, standing outside the door. He leaped forward in a single bound. She pinched it with both hands, radiating a greenish hue with crimson eyes. A single snap of the fingers sent the female ghost flying. Easily achieve it. After subduing the female ghost, Li Zongping originally planned to send her to the afterlife directly, but the female ghost actually started to cry. Looks very pitiful. She said she died with great resentment, not leaving here, just waiting for my husband and son to come back. See you one last time. Li Zongping saw her in such a pitiful state. Just find a black one. Let the female ghost in. Again, he pulled out a red string from the bag, wrapped around the umbrella. The next day, Li Zongping and I brought the gold chain. heading to the neighborhood where her son lies. After waiting for a while at the school gate, finally saw the son of Jin Lion. The golden chain in the umbrella was also very excited, unexpectedly wanting to come out from under the umbrella in the scorching sun, with my husband and son. Li Zongping also realized her thoughts. Quickly dissuading the golden chain person, the ghost walks a different path. Then we continued under the umbrella, followed that father and son for a long way, the child in front. It seems she sensed the golden chain calling her. But when we turn back, all we see is ourselves under the umbrella. This can be considered a meeting between them, mother and son. Later, Li Zongping took the umbrella. Tell me, golden chain of wishes, when? Next, we just need to send her on her way to reincarnation. We arrived at a dried-up riverbed, then placed the umbrella on the ground. Li Zongping took me and left. They say that here, actually. It's a transfer station later. Someone from the underworld will come to take her away. Take her to where she needs to go. Do you know the consequences of offending a carpenter? I believe many people have heard of it. Some carpenters are skilled in certain verification techniques. If you are during the construction of the house, I have offended these master carpenters. She will set up a magical formation in your house. From then on, it may become a burden. Severe consequences lead to family ruin and loss of life. I was out with Li Zongping on a mission. Just ran into such an unlucky family. That person is the owner of the inn, named Song Rentu. 10 years ago, when a huge investment was made to build this guest house. Because watching the carpenter is extremely difficult and slow, I just said a few more words to him. Who knew that the carpenter would? Because of just a few words, he just held a grudge against Song Rentu, silently performed a victory verification technique in the guest house. But the unfortunate Song Rentu, since the establishment of the guest house city, the leg suddenly became inexplicably lame. Even his child, and also limped without exception. The doctors at the hospital couldn't find any problems. The people in the village all say Song Ren too did something disgraceful. Only then will one face retribution. Until 10 years later, we arrived at this guest house. Li Zongping sensed something was off as soon as he entered, after inquiring with the boss about the situation. So I brought a hoe. Let me dig up the ground beneath my feet. I listened to Li Zongping's words, exerted tremendous effort, finally broke through the floor tiles. After digging a little further down, a wooden box is revealed in the dirt. That box looks a bit old. It seems to have been buried here since the day the guest house was built. I truly admire Li Zongping. He can actually tell that something is buried underground. Li Zongping carefully opened the wooden box. I could only see inside. 4 wooden figurines were neatly arranged. Each one has male characteristics, but every wooden man's legs are broken. This seems to correspond as well. The children of Song Rentu's family with crippled legs. Song Rentu saw everything in front of him and completely believed Li Zongping's words. He never expected. Because of those few words I said back then, "Let your own children suffer." Song Rentu figured out the reason. They also recognized Li Zongping's abilities. Quickly hugged his arm. He asked him to have a kind heart and help his own children. I thought the curse had lasted for so many years. Already deep in the marrow. It takes a lot of effort to solve. However, Li Zongping said, "It's easy to cast a spell with this technique. Breaking the curse is easy. Only at the moment of the curse breaking, the one who casts the spell will face backlash, dire calamity of bloodshed. Heavy consequences lead to untimely death." Song Ren was taken aback by Li Zongping's words. Li Ma sulkily said, "The carpenter from back then had already left a few years ago. Just because of a misstep, I fell into the cesspit. Drowned to death. He drowned in the cesspit for 3 days. It was only after getting close to the finals that my family found out." Li Zongping listened without any reaction, just instructed Song Rentu to find a big mirror. Then press the mirror on top of the box. Again, use 4 copper coins to weigh down the 4 corners of the mirror. After everything was arranged, Li Zongping said to his boss, "The next day, restore the ground to its original state. The child's legs at home will take about a year and a half. It can be restored." He also specifically instructed Song Rentu, "This matter of deciphering the art of verification, you absolutely must not tell the 4th person. Thank you so much, Song Rentu," blowing at Li Zongping. "Not only did they waive our rent, you treated us to a meal of instant noodles. The strong man sings every night for the widow. In less than a year, I became too weak to get out of bed." Li Zongping, who lives in Kuishan village, although ugly in appearance, but he excelled in physical strength. One person can accomplish the work of 3. Originally, Li Zongping also had a wife, after a couple has been married for several years. His wife couldn't stand Li Zongping's nightly disturbances. He was actually worked to death. Another unfortunate soul is Jin Lion from the same village. In Jin Lion's home, there were only 2 people, father and daughter. Father has been bedridden for years due to illness. It all depends on Jin Lion to manage the household chores. It was the year when Jin Lion turned 20. The village matchmaker came to propose a marriage to him. It is said that Song Rentu from the village has taken a liking to Jin Lion, wants to marry her. This Song Ren is also a sickly person. Living until now relies entirely on the family's wealth to keep me alive. Although Jin Lion did not want to marry a short-lived man, but for my father's illness, with the Song family's substantial wealth, after careful consideration, still married Song Rentu. After the Golden Lotus closed the door, every day is just about serving Song Rentu his medicine. The 2 only shared a room once on their wedding day. Naturally, there were no children, although the days have been tough on the heart. But thankfully, I don't have to go through that, living in a day-to-day struggle for food. But a few months later, Song Rentu kicked his legs, died. Youthful and beautiful Jin Lion became a widow just like that. Again, because there are no children, the Song family feared she would claim her inheritance, just chased her out of the house. The matchmaker found out. Li Zongping and Jin Lion feel they are simply a match made in heaven. Can't say for sure if they are together. One can use poison to counteract poison. So, with the matchmaking of the chicken matchmaker, Jin Lion married Li Zongping again. From then on, Li Zongping lived a life of nightly revelry, although Jin Lian's mother-in-law was very harsh, always deliberately making things difficult for her. Jin Lian still felt that she could marry Li Zongping. It is simply a beautiful thing in the world. Good times don't last long. Half a year after Jin Lion married Li Zongping, who has always been as strong as an ox, started coughing all day long. The whole person is gradually becoming weaker. This made Jin Lion's mother-in-law very anxious. Even though his son married a young and beautiful wife, it's been such a long time. Jin Lion's stomach is also unreliable. Moreover, her son was made sick and feeble by her. Plus, Jin Lion's previous husband, it was after she got married, just died from illness. Jin Lion's mother-in-law, I feel that all of this is because of. My son has to work during the day. At night, I will sing with Jin Lion all night long. That's why I gradually became weak and exhausted. While eating a lot and still not feeling well, Jin Lion's mother-in-law invited the village fortune teller